Good to see you again.
It is so good to see you, Dick. How are you?
Great. You got to come to our house again. We've made a Disneyland out of the backyard now.
Oh, fantastic. You were working on the backyard.
That's right.
It's hard to believe it was like 5 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
I guess
it was
5 years.
2016.
Boy, people don't know how time flies when you get old. I'm 95, and the last thing I remember, I was 80.
Yeah, so we're here in Washington, D.C., and it's the Kennedy Center Honors. 80-year career, 5 Emmys, a Tony, a Grammy, a BAFTA, the SAG Lifetime Achievement Award, Television Hall of Fame, a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So what does the Kennedy Center Honors mean?
I have no idea. You left out one I didn't get. I didn't get an Oscar.
Well, there's still time.
But they gave Stan Laurel an honorary one. He had it on his television set, so I thought that's what I want, a Stan Laurel Oscar.
And you do a pretty good Stan Laurel.
Yeah, I was his favorite. He wanted me to play him.
Wow.
Oh.
So what the Kennedy Center Honors? I mean, for people in their profession, that's one of the highest honors.
I know that it's a very small, something over 200 have ever received it. You know what they don't remember? The first one was years ago, either in a hotel or a home. I was the MC.
Were you really?
And the Kennedys don't remember. Only I remember. I must have made a real impression on them.
So you've gone full circle from hosting the first one to getting the one.
That's right.
Yeah. What is it? And especially in this time of COVID, is this kind of one of those things where you're stepping out, and I would assume this is the first like big awards ceremony.
Oh, God, I feel like a little kid getting out of the house and getting a present on top of it. Yeah, we haven't been anywhere in a year. Have you traveled?
I've traveled a little before then, but and would have traveled a lot earlier if I was getting a Kennedy Center. But it's an amazing honor that and look. Even though some people say, "Wow, this is a great cap to your career," you're not ready to stop working yet, are you?
No. Well, an actor retires by just doing it for nothing. You do charity work after they won't hire you anymore. Yeah. No, I don't think I'll ever retire unless they make me. It's too much fun.
Yeah.
I have such a good life. Amazing. You know, the other awards are, well, like icing on the cake. But this one really, this is where you get your credentials. You really, I mean, it's such a small group of people. I'm so tickled to be in that group.
I mean, it's an amazing group. You've got Debbie Allen, Garth Brooks, Midori, yourself. Who am I forgetting? There's one other. And you're with Joan Baez. Are you guys going to get together? Have you met everybody?
Well, we're supposed to go to dinner tonight. Everybody's going to meet. I've known Debbie for years. I just love her.
Especially one dancer to another.
Yeah, well, I'm not really. You know, she called me one day. She says, "I have these little kids. Would you come and help me with them?" I said, "Debbie, I can't really dance. I'm a fake." She said, "I'm not talking about the feet. I'm talking about up here. They're all looking at their feet. And I had to teach them to look out that way."
You have been such a part of our lives. I mean, from the Dick Van Dyke Show, movies, television. You've done Mary Poppins twice.
Twice?
Twice. When you look at your body of work, do you realize how much you are a part of our lives?
Well, yes. The funniest thing, because of COVID, there's no school. I've got a whole fan club of 6-year-olds now that write me letters. They're just discovering Mary Poppins and the Van Dyke Show. It's just a pleasure, and they like it. It's held up over the years, too.
I was watching, there's this show on one of the streaming channels called WandaVision, and it's an homage to different sitcoms through the years.
We were in there, yeah.
And the Dick Van Dyke Show, there was one that was a perfect homage to the Dick Van Dyke Show.
That's right. It was the same living room set, but the guy had a metal head, didn't he?
Yes.
I wonder if that was some kind of a reference.
But the idea, when you look at this show, I mean, it was done, what, 60 years ago? You watch the Dick Van Dyke Show, it still holds up.
It does. It's still on, and I still get a lot of mail on it. Carl Reiner was so smart. He said, I don't want to ever mention anything, news of the day. He didn't let us talk about it, so it doesn't date the show in that way. And I think the clothes are back in style even.
You know, you mentioned Carl Reiner. We lost him this year. How did that?
My idol.
What did that mean? What did Carl Reiner mean to you?
He was everything to me. He was a godfather, everything. He was one of the brightest, nicest human beings I ever knew, and the most talented. He knew more about comedy than, Sheldon Leonard. He was an executive producer on our, but Carl and he had different ideas about what comedy was. And so I learned a lot just listening to the two of them argue about comedy. Carl said, I don't care how crazy it gets, if it's possible, if it could happen. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to do something insane, we'd do a dream sequence.
I was watching some bits the other night of the Dick Van Dyke Show. And what I forgot was how physical some of the comedy was on that show. I mean, yeah, we all know about you falling over the ottoman in the open.
I don't do that anymore.
No, please don't do that.
It was that way because Carl knew I loved to do physical comedy. So whenever he could write it in, he'd give me a place to do it.
I watched one I saw, The Drunk Uncle, Laura's Drunk Uncle, where you're and the other one where it's the definition of comedy, and you cut yourself, you're banging your head on the desk.
That was so much fun.
I'm hoping that only took one take because it seemed pretty dangerous.
You know what my favorite one is? When he's hypnotized, when the phone rings, you're drunk. And then when it goes off, you're sober. And he's going back and forth, and he gets all tangled up in his clothes. I had more fun on that show.
There are so many people who say you influence their comedy. I mean, whether it's Jim Carrey or Tina Fey, folks like that. How does that feel to know you have really influenced several generations of comedy?
Of that kind of comedy. Well, Jim, we're good friends, of course. He said, if it hadn't been you, there wouldn't be me. Well, I owe Stan Laurel and Buster Keaton. I knew both. I did the eulogy at both of their funerals.
Wow.
Stan Laurel and Buster. And I stole from them liberally. So I'm just carrying on the tradition.
So you talk about when you're hypnotized. When you look back at some of your performances, what are some of the ones that stand out for you?
I think the 5 years on the Van Dyke Show with Carl and Mary was the most fun I ever had. It was we all look forward to coming to work because Carl didn't write things in stone. Everybody got to throw in their ideas. So from the first reading till we did it on the show, it was a different show altogether. That was the most fun, and I think I'm most proud of Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like, doing that? Because that, the movie, there was a lot of question marks about it. Some people said, oh, Dick Van Dyke playing an English guy, but it has stood the test of time. What is it about Mary Poppins?
We knew every morning coming to work that something wonderful was happening. Everybody just felt it. The song, everything about it, just the dances. We all came to work in the morning, and Walt was on the set every day. He was going at it. But I got a BAFTA award, and there was some question about my Cockney accent. I said it wasn't Cockney. A little shire on the very north of England that had been settled by people from Ohio. And they bought it.
Given you were born in Ohio, that movie, a lot of people didn't know that you had played the two roles, of course.
The old guy.
You were Bert, and the old guy, the old banker at the end. And last time I saw you, the rumors about Mary Poppins that it already started, but that you were going to be in it. And in fact,
I was in it.
You were, but you said, well, the good news is I don't have to wear makeup to play the old guy.
That's right. I grew up. When you invest your tuppence wisely, and I can do that now without makeup at all. The funny thing about that part, I went to Walt and said, could I play that old man? And he's made me do a screen test. And I did it out in front of the bank's house. I think what got him, I then pretended to go over and pee in the bushes. That blew him away. And I didn't get paid. I had to give $2,000 to his art school. I had to pay him.
Wow.
He was a traitor, that guy. But he was something.
You know, we've all been cooped up in our homes, during the pandemic. What have you done to pass the time besides grow this fantastic
I
beard?
shouldn't grow a beard. We stayed at home a lot. I am a animator, a television animator. I have all the equipment. I spent hours at it. Such fun, trying to keep up with the technology, for one thing. It's just, the time flies.
You're doing like animation?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a quartet, barbershop.
Tell me about the Fantastics.
Well, my wife Arlene now sings in front of us. We back her up, and she sings great.
In fact, you were getting ready. You guys were all set to. You had a series of performances, and then the pandemic shut everything down.
That's right. And we also sang at the Ford Theater for Obama. But for the first time, I've been in the show business, almost 70 years. That day, I was a wreck. There was the president out there, and my God, and my tie was crooked. And I have a picture. Obama came up on the stage afterwards and straightened my tie for me. And I've got the picture.
So are you looking forward to getting back on the road with the Fantastics?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. We've been missing singing. We haven't been able to get together. Arlene and I sing all day, but we went and got our shots. And there was a lot of elderly people waiting in line. So we came out and sang, "Just a spoonful of sugar helps." And everybody joined in. Perfect song.
It's probably the one song that everybody knows.
Everybody knows that, yeah.
No matter how old you are, how young you are, everybody knows a spoonful of sugar.
We were in the market the other day, and a little lady said, "Dick Van Dyke." Dick Van Dyke. Now that's my name.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
The Dick Van Dyke. Sounds like a snack food. I'm going to have some Dick Van Dykes. What keeps you going, Dick? I mean, this is here we are. We're just coming out of this pandemic, and yet, I saw the article in the Washington Post. I said, "Oh my gosh, Dick Van Dyke he's 95 and getting a Kennedy Center honors, and he still wants to work."
Oh yeah, I don't know what I'd do. That's the thing with being an entertainer. You do it because you love to do it, not for the money's sake or awards. But we sing all the time, and we've got a full backyard of workouts. I work out every day, sit-ups and the whole thing.
Wow,
it's getting hard, and it hurts now.
What's the secret to getting to 95?
Good genes, I guess. I've always tried to eat right and everything, but my mother made it almost to 96. But we were sitting on the patio one afternoon with my brother and some aunts and uncles, and my mother suddenly turned to me and said, "Who are these people?" So I knew she was gone.
or she just
I have trouble with short-term memory. It's getting tattered. But at the same time, my long-term memory is coming back in Technicolor.
Wow.
I'm remembering everything.
What's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory? Oh, I've got a lot of them. I was telling somebody the other day, my father moved to Crawfordsville, Indiana, across the street from Wabash College, where Lou so-and-so wrote the great book. I was on the freshman track team, and I would go across on Saturdays and watch the Wabash team run against other colleges. Well, our coach was a official. He came to me and he said, "The guy on the 4x4 just hurt his foot. You want to run it?" I was 15 years old. I ran at my stocking feet, passed the guy on the outside, and beat him. I beat Purdue at 15 years old. They gave me a little ribbon. My father never believed me. I thought, I'm headed for the Olympics. And the next year I went in to get my permit from the doctor. He said, "You got a little heart murmur there. I don't want you to." So I joined the dramatic club. Everything worked out pretty well.
I would say. What I mean, it's still a ways away. But what would you like your legacy to be? What do you or what? Yeah, what do you want your legacy to be, Dick?
I don't know. If I could be in the same class as Walt, I'd be very happy. You know, somebody who contributed to that kind of entertainment. I love that.
Well, but I think you are in that class. I mean, whenever I said to a number of people, I'm going to go talk to Dick Van Dyke, and I mean everybody from teenagers to folks that are my age, they all light up. That's got to feel great.
Yeah, I've been around. Oh, does it ever? Does it ever? A woman stopped me and said, "You're the one who's got to bring this country together." I said, "Okay, I got something to do now." She said, "You've got to bring this country together, and you're the guy that can do it."
What do you think it would
take? Do I have
take?
to get elected first?
Do you want to run for office? So you've done Broadway, you've done television, you've done movies. What's left? What would you still like to do?
Shakespeare. I'm not kidding.
Really?
I'd like to do King Lear. I'm the right age. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow creeps in this petty page from day to day. I know it. I can do it.
Wow. That blows me away.
Yeah, I'd really like to try it.
Huh. How would you, I mean, how would you approach it?
A funny short story. This is some years ago. My manager called me up, said, "I just had a call from Sophia Loren's agent. She wants to do a sitcom with you." And I said, "When do we start?" Of course. He said, "I turned it down because of the money." I said, "I'll pay them." And he said, she'd get top billing. And I said, "I don't care if they never mention my name. Just let me work with Sophia Loren." It all fell through. I'm still mad at him.
Would you do another sitcom today?
Not without Carl Reiner. I don't think there's anybody in the business who could write like he could. And he got our speech patterns right away. All we had to do was say the lines. He wrote the way I spoke and the way Mary spoke. He caught our cadences, and it was just duck soup to do.
You know, it's not to be a little maudlin, but with Carl gone, I mean, you're the last person left of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I'm the last one, yeah.
Do you think about? I mean, do you think about that at all, or
no, I really don't. Carl always said, "I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of the dying."
When you are getting your Kennedy Center Award, the actual at the actual ceremony, what do you think that's going to feel like?
Oh, it really is. It's the top. It's like getting knighted, as far as I'm concerned. It's the very top of everything. And usually they have friends and compatriots come up. I have no one. They're all dead. So I'm going to be surprised. I'm hoping it's somebody from Monty Python and Steve Martin, maybe. Funny people.
What more can I say? Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.